Welcome to Coast. I'm your host, Heather Dawson. And let's start off the show with a cruise to the Bahamas on the largest ship in the world, Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas.
The family experience, more than ever before, is front and center for Icon of the Seas. There's going to be something for everybody, with more experiences that are designed for the entire group to sit and enjoy together.
The inspiration for Surfside Neighborhood is this idea of not wanting to compromise while on vacation. So we wanted to create a neighborhood that really encompassed all of these kids' activities, but the parents didn't have to compromise their vacation experience.
Within Thrill Island, there'll be some things that you're familiar with. The flow rider, although it's going to be spun around the other way, so your selfies will be better, and your friends will see you against the actual ocean, which is fantastic.
It has our mini golf, Lost Dunes. We've really spent time and energy theming Thrill Island to feel like you're in a lost jungle somewhere.
Adrenaline Peak is an experience that we're very excited to bring onto Icon. Some of our guests today will know it as the rock climbing ball.
If you're designing the best family vacation in the world, you want rooms that define that. And kids are looking for their own space, parents are looking for their own space, and also the ability to connect within the room.
It was an unbelievable trip and major adrenaline watching that Red Bull plane from the island. Speaking of adrenaline, now let's head to Venice, California, where Monster is launching a new product on Abbot Kinney Boulevard.
Well, we came down to Venice here at the Brig in Abbot Kinney to launch the brand new flavour. We wanted somewhere that was fun, a bit vibrant. We just wanted to show the public what this new flavour is all about. So we thought it would be a cool story to have the can fall from the sky. As you can see, it's smashed into the ground. We have our Monster, beautiful Monster girls. They're here with the augmented reality, the iPads and the phones. They're showing the public how it works. So all you do is you walk up, you scan the QR code, you look at the can, and it jumps to life. It's really pretty impressive technology.
Today, right off of Abbot Kinney, there is this 12-foot replica of a Monster Energy can to represent the new flavor, Ultra Fantasy Ruby Red. It appears just as a physical 12-foot can, but actually after unlocking the scene just by scanning the QR code, you see the artwork that's featured on the actual can in stores come to life on the can with the robots and the bunnies from Pinky Taylor that are surrounding you, that guests who, if they're curious and discover this, will be able to interact with the can, with the characters, and then with one simple swipe, it reveals what the new label looks like.
This is our first for us. We're always excited about our innovation at Monster. We love all our flavors, but this particular flavor we are very, very excited about. We wanted to do something with Pinky Taylor for a long, long time. He's been a Monster family member for eons. So we thought we'd put the two of them together and couple them and let him come up with the art on the can, and we are very, very happy with it.
Yes, this is the first time we've put my art on the can, and I'm really excited to get it out. I mean, I'm already blown away just by seeing the augmented reality and the animation, and I'm really excited to just meet with people and connect regarding the project.
We like to try new stuff at Monster, but we also like to keep it to the roots. Monster Ultra is all about, street art and graffiti and giving back to the artist community. So we thought we'd try something cutting edge with the AR technology and also bring it back to our roots with one of our original artists.
When you look at AR, which just effectively means bringing digital content into the physical world, that kind of blend of realities, It's serving a massive craving both on the consumer side and on the brand side. On the consumer side is they want to know, what is the story behind this brand, what is the story behind this product that I'm experiencing, and all of that can be unlocked with these digital layers that give context, meaning, etc. to the story of the product or service or just overall brand. That leads to really strong personal connections between, brand and audience that eventually, in theory, leads to, long-term lasting relationships between brand and audience, because it's no longer just a transactional relationship, it's a really personally connected relationship.
It was so cool. I wasn't expecting the whole experience, seeing all the monsters come out of the ground.
Yeah, so the art is characters, and it's basically the premise of good versus evil and connecting to your inner child. And, as we have the fun characters that are good fighting the evil robots to bring harmony to the world.
It is. It's a very, very new thing for Monster. We're very proud of the artwork and the can stories on all of our cans, but this is the first time we've had an artist actually showcase his art on a can. So we thought it would be the perfect opportunity to do this augmented reality reveal of the new can artwork. Well, we were very, very impressed with this technology when we seen it first. We love how this has gone, and I think we'd like to do a lot more with it in the future. Well, you got to stay tuned. I mean, Monster, as you know, comes out with new innovation every year. We've got new stuff coming up in Java, we've got new stuff coming up in Rehab, and Juice, but today is all about Ultra Fantasy Ruby Red.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a gateway to the Mojave Desert and the world-renowned Joshua Tree National Park. Let's all take a trip to this desert destination of 29 Palms. Here's J.R. Ibarra with more.
It's a desert destination that opens up a gateway to the beauty of the Mojave Desert. 29 Palms is a popular Southern California getaway that has much to offer for the adventurous and for those who are looking just to get away from it all. To get pointed in the right direction, make sure to take a quick stop into the City of 29 Palms Visitor Center. There you'll find a ton of information on all the activities and landmarks of the region. One of the main draws of 29 Palms is the connection to the world-renowned Joshua Tree National Park. Park visitors can get their park entry pass, along with trail maps and a historical look at the region by visiting the Joshua Tree National Park Visitor Center. They are open daily from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and is the best way to navigate your visit to the national park. The beauty that surrounds 29 Palms and the Mojave Desert is also best seen through its star-filled nights. The region is widely known for its incredible stargazing activities, and the 29 Palms area has one of the best places to view this galactic beauty with the Sky's the Limit Observatory and Nature Center.
Right now we're having monthly programs on the Saturday night nearest the new moon when the sky is the darkest. We have our telescope in our dome is outfitted with a camera, and it goes into deep space and brings back images of nebula and galaxies, clusters, and all the beautiful, colorful things that are out there that you don't see with your own eye through a telescope.
The area has a very rich history that is aptly captured and displayed in the 29 Palms Historical Society Old Schoolhouse Museum. It's a throwback to the very first established school in the area that has a truly authentic classroom that was once part of school days gone by.
We're really proud of our history here that we have, and that's why we do this. We've had hundreds of volunteers. We've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for this project. And it doesn't, not from grants or anything, it comes from the people that live and work here, every bit of it. So we're just really proud of the participation. We just had a guy that was on the board that was our school teacher when we were in high school, and he just passed away, and he left us $500,000. So, I mean, people believe in what we do here. There's a testimony to that right there.
29 Palms can also boast of some of the most unique and historical places to stay. One of two great favorites is the Campbell House, which has all the charm and history for a romantic weekend getaway. The arts play a huge part of this desert community, and you'll see much evidence of that with the oasis of murals, which can be seen on many significant buildings in the city. In addition, you'll also see a variety of sculpture work laced throughout the community. The historic 29 Palms Art Gallery showcases many other fine pieces of artwork from artists both locally and abroad.
One of our guild members bought the building in 1963, and they gave it to the gallery. And they worked and remodeled the whole place from a home into a gallery. The place had originally been built for Tom Hopkins, who was a Western novelist. He was kind of a pulp fiction writer of the era, right? And he lived here for many years. So anyway, eventually he sold the building. One of our Artist Guild members bought it and converted it into a gallery, and it opened in October 1963, so it is the oldest art gallery in the whole Joshua Tree Communities area.
And for golfers, if you happen to be coming into or leaving the 29 Palms area, it's worth taking some time to tee it up at the nearby Hawks Landing Golf Course in Yucca Valley.
So Hawks Landing Golf Club was a dream of my parents to resurrect an abandoned golf course that was here back in the day. It was called Blue Skies Country Club. It was an 18-hole course that we refashioned as a 12-hole course with 2 6-hole loops to design a little bit more comfortable day of golf.
So with a community that is home to a strategic marine base, along with the beauty of the Joshua Tree National Forest and its local art scene, 29 Palms is a unique getaway that will draw thousands from around the globe to enjoy its great beauty, making it a key desert destination. From 29 Palms, California, this is J.R. Ibarra for Coast to Coast.
Well, you might be aware of the romantic getaways at the Mission Inn in Riverside, California, and the Hotel Del Coronado in San Diego. But we have found another great stay out in the Mojave Desert as JR takes us to the Campbell House in 29 Palms.
It's a desert destination that opens up a gateway to the beauty of the Mojave Desert. 29 Palms is a popular Southern California getaway that has much to offer for the adventurous and for those who are looking just to get away from it all. One of the gems of this desert community is the Campbell House Inn, which has a great charm and history that dates back about 100 years. Conceived and constructed through the great love story of Bill and Elizabeth Campbell, this beautiful home takes visitors back into a time of simpler days and provides a beautiful getaway that truly rivals some of the other popular historic California destinations, such as the Mission Inn and the Hotel Del Coronado.
The house was actually built by some people by the name of Bill and Elizabeth Campbell. She had come from a very, very wealthy family in Upland, Pennsylvania, and she had married a World War I veteran, and he had mustard gas damage to his lungs, and they were sending World War I veterans to the area. At that time, you could homestead 180 acres, and so they went all over, and they brought along with them a water witch gentleman, which is the 2 rods, and you walk around, and if the rods start going crazy, there's water there. Well, when they hit this piece of property, it was 180 acres, and it started going nuts, and so they decided to homestead this piece of property. So they pitched a tent right over here in a little circle, and they applied for disability. They got $95 in 1920 or 21, and they decided they could put $5 towards tithings, $5 towards gasoline, $5 towards food, and anything else they could put towards building a bigger home.
But that disability check for Bill Campbell didn't quite launch the construction right away. It wasn't until a large inheritance that fell into the lap of Elizabeth Campbell that the grand plans for their new homestead would be turned into this lovely historic home.
So the house has all Vermont maple floors that were hand-tooled here on the property. They built a big barn. They built another little cottage. It's actually a pretty good-sized cottage to house the workers that came up to help work on the main house.
Today, just about a century later, the Campbell House provides visitors with a beautiful backdrop of the Mojave Desert while providing a peaceful retreat that will soothe the soul with its historic architecture and rich history based on a true love story.
It's the appreciation for the lovely history. I think that's super fun. I think just having a bit of time out, just a little peace and quiet. Most of those rooms have kitchenettes, and I think people appreciate that sometimes when they're trying to have their space. They have, they all have kind of a nice view out into the desert.
Just the magic of knowing that a woman that came from such great wealth would give up that for the love of a man and live out here, and everything that they did was truly done with love. That's what we loved about the property. We loved the vision that they sought after, and they got it, and it was the next generations to continue on the history of it. So,
to book your stay at this charming facility, just go onto their website at visitcampbellhouse.com, and it will be a peaceful stay in the desert that will truly be unforgettable. From 29 Palms, California, this is J.R. Ibarra for Coast to Coast.
A rare chronic blood cancer is often overlooked. 40 to 60% of untreated patients may develop blood clots during the first 10 years after diagnosis. Hear one patient's story of finding the right treatment approach for him.
Polycythemia vera, or PV, is a rare chronic blood cancer that's often overlooked. For PV patients like Gary, the first signs of PV can be mistaken for other ailments.
I've been an avid hiker all my life. When I was hiking, I would get this burning in my toes that I assumed was a part of hiking. And maybe my shoes didn't fit right. Maybe I just needed to massage them.
But the symptoms became worse, leading Gary to consult a number of specialists.
We had a bone biopsy done, and it confirmed that I had polycythemia vera.
Polycythemia vera, or PV for short, is a chronic blood cancer that causes the bone marrow to produce too many mature blood cells. And these are especially red blood cells, but also white blood cells and platelets. And this leads to the blood flowing through the blood vessels to be too thick, similar to a car engine with old motor oil.
Because of the thickening of the blood, untreated patients may develop blood clots.
And there are also other symptoms that patients may experience, including fatigue, itching, especially with a hot bath or shower, burning or tingling in the fingers and toes, concentration problems that people often refer to as brain fog, or feeling full after just a few bites of food.
After his diagnosis, Gary began traditional treatment for PV.
At that point, I started taking baby aspirin, 81 milligrams a day, as well as doing therapeutic phlebotomy twice a month. I would feel better after phlebotomy, but after a year it wasn't working.
When phlebotomy doesn't work in patients like Gary, there are other medications that doctors can turn to.
And those preferred frontline medications who need more than just phlebotomy are a chemotherapy called hydroxyurea, or the injection under the skin called Ropeg interferon alpha, which is also known as Besremi. And the big difference between these two treatments is while they both reduce the blood cell counts, only Besremi targets the source of polycythemia vera in the bone marrow.
Gary's doctor recommended Besremi.
So I started that in the spring of 2022. By September of 2022, my blood levels were normal, the blood counts were normal. I'm afraid of needles. This wasn't. With training, this was very, very easy.
To find out more about Besremi, go to besremi.com. And Dr. Reeves says there are some great sites to learn more about PV.
A great source is the MPNResearchFoundation.org, and also Leukemia Lymphoma Society, which is LLS.org.
I'm David Wiley for Coast to Coast.
And that wraps up this episode of Coast to Coast. I'm your host, Heather Dawson. If you missed any part of our show, please check out our website or go to our social media. We'll see you next time.